Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is Becky and this is Brea Makes Art, and I'm coming to you from a slightly different part of my art room because I'm going to be working in this corner here. You can see I've got a just kind of a cheaper plastic shelf here that I've had in here since I set up the art room because it was the storage that I had and it worked. I've been wanting to get some different storage for my room, but I don't have a lot of space in here, so I decided that I'm going to get rid of this shelf, and I've already bought myself a new unit. It is here, it is upstairs. I need to bring it downstairs and assemble it, but before I do that, I wanted to get this unit cleared off so that I have room to put the new thing in place. So the first things first, I need to clear this off so I can make space to build a new unit and then fill up the new unit with all the stuff that's on here. Probably minus a little bit because I think there's some stuff on here that doesn't really belong in here. So come along and let's get emptying. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I technically did not need to replace this shelving unit. It was perfectly functional, but it was an eyesore. It held everything that I needed to hold, plus it held a little bit more. It was also a little bit tall for the space. It fit, but the ceiling actually drops down over there a little bit, and the stuff on the top was kind of close to the ceiling, and it allowed me to be messy. It allowed me to just find an open spot on the shelf and shove things on there. And like I said, that just kind of led to it looking like a bit of an eyesore over there. So I was really wanting something that would allow me to keep things organized, but also keep things a little bit more out of sight. I was also hoping to have a little bit more wall space for putting up more artwork because I'm really enjoying having artwork up around the place here. It makes me happy to look around and see lots of pretty things here and there, and it'll hopefully inspire me to make even more artwork. Also, that corner was a little bit dark. The light in here doesn't really get over into that corner very well. In this video, it's a little bit hard to see that because I do have some of my lighting on for just my normal video so that you can actually see into that corner a little bit better. But I couldn't get to the outlet. I couldn't get to the outlet very well to plug in any sort of lamp over there. And now I can actually get to it so I can have a lamp over there and have it lit up. The other nice thing that cleaning this off allowed me to do is to just sort through the stuff that I had over there, because I had a lot of stuff over there because I was able to find a spot to store it. I had a lot of stuff that didn't necessarily belong in this room, and I had a lot of stuff that I didn't necessarily have to have readily available. So I end up putting some of that away in a box and popping it into a closet that's in this room. That closet doesn't have a lot of room in it, so I don't store very much in there, but it allowed me to just kind of sort through and pare down some of the stuff that I have, so that was really nice. And it also allowed me to organize a lot of my stuff a little bit better, so it should be easier for me to actually go and find the things that I'm looking for. I think another reason that I decided to do this now rather than just continue to live with the way that it was is I've been feeling a bit of art resistance lately. I wouldn't necessarily call it art block, but I haven't been working very much in my sketchbook. I've been avoiding working on my water painting. I just haven't had the confidence to really work on very much. I felt like my drawing hasn't been turning out the way I want it to. My painting, I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it because my drawing hasn't been great. So I wanted to do something that would make me feel a little bit better and make the room feel a little bit better. And hopefully that would just kind of re-energize me. And look at that, I've got the corner clean. Woohoo! Look at me dance. Man, I'm so good. All right, this is the mess that is the room after I cleaned everything off from that shelf or those shelving unit. You can see there's a lot of stuff, and I need to figure out where to put all of this stuff in the new unit. But first, we must assemble the new unit. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with a ton of video of me assembling it. I will have a little bit just to show that I did do the assembly, but nobody wants to watch me sit here and, you know, put little wooden pegs in and mash pieces together. So I'm going to keep that to a minimum. I did find this unit on Amazon. I did a little bit of searching looking for things like the Alex drawers, and this is available on Amazon. I think it's also available at Lowe's and a couple of other places, and I ended up buying it at Amazon because it had the best price. And so a lot of people were complaining about the instructions. These are the just visual instructions, no words. And at first I was not happy with the instructions, but once I kind of got into them and realized what I was looking at, it was pretty straightforward and was pretty easy to assemble. So that's all great. Alrighty, so I've made it through step 9 tonight. I think I'm done for now. I've got a bunch more steps to go and then my unit will be assembled, and then I have to fill it up with everything that's in here. So wish me luck, wish me speed. Alakazam! 1, 2, peekaboo! And ka-chow! Poof! So you can see the unit behind me. I've got it all assembled except for the drawers, and then the drawer stops, and then it'll be all good. And then it'll be time to put everything in there. So fingers crossed, everything will fit and it'll be all good. But last bit is assemble, like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawers, I think. It's done. All I gotta do is roll it back in place and then fill her up. Huzzah! What do we think? Yay! My camera decided to look over to the right for some reason, and I didn't notice it right away. So you get to see me kind of going back and forth and not a whole lot of what's going on in the unit there. But as you can guess, I am trying to figure out what I want to go where, and just kind of taking things over and tossing them in drawers to see how much I can get into each of the drawers, because that is currently unknown to me. I don't have a lot of containers to put things in, so I'm just using drawers from the little drawer units that were on the shelf to stick in there for now. I do end up going and finding some other things to put those in. I'm also going through and trying to figure out like what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of, trying to figure out if I can merge things together, that sort of thing, in order to make the best use of the space that I have, and in order to make it so that I can easily find the things that I want to find in there, because there's a lot of stuff. And here I ended up putting all of my canvases in here. I don't paint on canvas a lot because I'm not super fond of it, but I have a ton of canvases that I had purchased on sale at some point or another. And so I've got a lot of them in there, and I need to figure out ways that I can use canvas that I actually don't mind. So one of these days you'll see me trying that out. I have managed to find a spot for all of the things that I had on that shelf and in the room, kind of rearranged a number of things here and there, but this is how this corner is looking now. I have lots of room up here for additional artwork. This glass piece will probably end up hanging up there. I am debating on whether to get some floating shelves to put stuff on, but in the end, this is how the drawers ended up looking. I did find some additional storage units to put in the drawers to make it make a little bit more sense. So my top drawer here has got a lot of Posca pens and other pens over here. I've got some of the chameleon markers back there. This is a lot of pencils, and then I've got a bunch of glues and things like that. Oops. I got a bunch of glues and things like that over here. I can probably put my Mod Podge down in here. Excellent. And then my next drawer here is some random colored pencils, my foil quill, my matte cutter, some matte supplies. Oh, sorry, over here. This is a little kind of dot art thing that I haven't actually used. And then when we come down a little bit further, I showed you this before, but I have reworked it a little bit. There are a lot of canvases in there, as well as my tiny wood panels. I got them all to fit in there. I thought I was going to have to move some somewhere else, but I was able to take some stuff from a different place and put over here as well. So that's great. This is all stored nicely in there. And then this is my inks drawer. So I've got a bunch of P.H. Martin ink. I've got some acrylic inks. I've got some of these enamel accents, more acrylic inks. I've got inks for dip pens. I've got some dip pen stuff here. And then I've got some inks over here for scratchboard stuff and all my scratchboard scratcher thingies, and a little bit of just kind of cheap scratchboard material. The rest of the scratchboard material is somewhere else, the paper. And then this drawer is a bunch of random stuff that I want to use at some point. These are some little wood discs that I decorated last year for Christmas. I've got these Christmas bulbs that I want to decorate, some just random craft sticks, and an airbrush kit, as well as some of the inks for that, or paints for that. And then in this last drawer here is all of my clay stuff. This is got a bunch of, I've got some Cos clay in there, as well as a bunch of Sculpey and a whole lot of different clay tools, including some armature wire and things like that. So that's what is inside. And then on the top here, I've got a bunch of pens and my Tombow markers and all of my Prismacolor pencils over here. And then these guys were taken pretty much directly off from the unit that I had before, and have what they say they have in them pretty much. And I could probably do a little bit more here to maybe reduce this down a little bit further, but overall I think it's looking pretty good. So that was a lot of work, but it was worth it in the end. I am loving how that corner is looking over there. I think it looks so much nicer and neater and just more organized than it did before, with the just kind of white shelving unit with everything visible. I love that a lot of stuff is kind of tucked away, but I still can put some stuff out on the top to make it visible. I've got a little bit more room for artwork over there, which is going to be delightful. I haven't decided quite what I'm going to do over there yet in terms of artwork. I've been debating whether I want to do some floating shelves so I can kind of swap out artwork very easily, or if I just want to pop some artwork up there and swap it out as, you know, kind of things change. I haven't decided. I'll let you know when I make that decision, but the art room is just feeling so much nicer now. I've got some light over there in the corner, which it was sorely lacking, so I'm really happy about that. I can get at the outlet over there, which is amazing. I couldn't get at that before, which was really annoying when I needed to plug something in over there. And I've got some room next to it to store some larger things that I don't really have any other place to put. And it still looks nice and organized, so I am really happy about that. I also kind of reorganized some other parts of the room just a tiny bit in order to kind of make things fit a little bit better here and there. I took some stuff out of this unit here and put over there. I took some stuff out of, there's a white unit here, and kind of moved stuff around. I ended up emptying out a number of containers that I had, and so I've got some additional containers that I could use if I needed to, so that's wonderful. Like I said earlier, the containers that I have inside of the drawers are maybe not quite the right size or the right fit, but it's what I had at the moment, and I'm really happy with it, and I can find things pretty easily in there. I think overall I am ecstatic about how this looks. I was super excited about getting the unit, and I'm glad I got it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you again next week with some art. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Bye.